Do you feel like you're running on empty, juggling work, family, and that never-ending to-do list, only to end the day feeling completely burned out? Like no matter how much you do, there's always more waiting for you tomorrow. Welcome to the stress epidemic that's taken over our current society, where being constantly overwhelmed is almost worn like a badge of honor. But here's the truth. Burning yourself out, it's not a requirement for success, and exhaustion isn't a sign of strength. It's a warning sign. Today, we will discuss how to shift from burnout to balance by understanding stress, making small but powerful changes, and most importantly, recognizing that self-care, it's not selfish, it's survival. So let's start with a little science, because I love a good fact that makes things click. Our bodies are wired to handle stress in small, manageable bursts. Back in the caveman days, stress was meant to keep us alive, help us run from predators or hunt for food. The problem? In today's world, the predator is your overflowing inbox, your kids' soccer schedule, and that never-ending mental to-do list that keeps you up at night. When stress becomes chronic, our bodies stay in fight or flight mode, flooding us with cortisol, the stress hormone. In small amounts, cortisol is helpful. It keeps us alert and energized. But when it's constantly elevated, it leads to exhaustion, weight gain, brain fog, and an overall sense of being completely drained. The worst part? Most of us don't even realize how much stress we're carrying until our bodies force us to stop through illness, burnout, or sheer emotional breakdown. Now, here's where our mindset messes with us before we even begin. The moment we hear stress management, our brain starts rejecting it. We think it's extreme, impractical, or something only people who do yoga on the beach at sunrise will take seriously. But the truth, managing stress is pretty simple. It's just not always easy. Why? Because we resist change. We cling to our habits that make us feel in control, even when they're the very things keeping us stuck. Think about it. How many times have you said, I don't have time to slow down, or I'll rest when things calm down? But newsflash, life never calms down on its own. If we don't make balance a priority, burnout will make it for us. I used to believe that powering through was the only way. I thought if I just push harder, I'd eventually get ahead and feel in control. Truth be told, that never happened. Instead, I ended up exhausted, cranky, and questioning why I felt so stuck. That's when I realized that stress management isn't about doing less. It's about doing things differently. It's about working with your body and mind instead of against them. And while the changes are simple, they require a mindset shift too. So let's break this down into practical steps, things you can actually start implementing today. First up, let's talk about your daily rhythm. Your body craves consistency, and even small shifts in your routine can create major results. One of the easiest ways to start, a 5-minute mindfulness practice in the morning. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, I don't have time for that, hear me out. Studies show that even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can lower your cortisol levels and improve focus. That means less stress and more mental clarity before you even start your day. You don't have to sit cross-legged on the floor chanting mantras. Just take 5 deep breaths, set an intention for the day, and let your nervous system settle just a bit. It's like hitting the reset button before the chaos of the day begins. Now let's tackle one of the biggest culprits of chronic stress, screen time. We're glued to our devices from the moment we wake up to the moment that we fall asleep. And it's wreaking havoc on our nervous system. A simple but game-changing habit, a 1-hour digital detox before bed. I know. Netflix and Instagram feel like the perfect way to unwind after a long day. But the blue light from screens messes with our melatonin levels, making it harder for our brain to shut down. Instead, try replacing your nightly scroll with a relaxation ritual. Read a book, take a warm bath, stretch out a bit, dim the lights, anything that begins to signal your brain that it's time to wind down. And let's be real, if your idea of unwinding is slouching on the couch with a bag of chips and a pint of Ben and Jerry's every night, no amount of meditation is going to save you from burnout. I say that with all the love, but also, it's true. Now, movement. Now, before you start thinking I'm about to tell you to sign up for a gym membership or start training for a marathon, I'm not. So don't worry. Moving your body doesn't have to be intense to be effective. A 10-minute walk outside, stretching in the morning, or even dancing around your kitchen while making dinner can all help reduce stress hormones and begin to boost your mood. Exercise releases endorphins, your body's natural stress relief. The key is to find movement that feels good to you, not like punishment. So if running isn't your jam, don't run. Do something you actually enjoy and you'll be way more likely to stick with it. And we can't talk about stress without talking about food. What you eat plays a massive role in how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. If your diet is full of processed sugary foods, you're not just spiking your blood sugar, you're spiking your stress levels too. Instead, aim for whole, nutrient-dense foods that provide steady energy and help stabilize your mood. Think animal proteins, healthy fats, and colorful berries and vegetables and nuts. And before you tell me, but I don't have time to eat healthy, I promise grabbing blueberries and some nuts is just as fast as grabbing those bag of chips. The difference? One fuels your body and the other fuels your stress. So just choose wisely. Finally, boundaries. This one might be the hardest, but it's also the most important. We are stretched so thin because we say yes to everything and everyone except ourselves. Learning to set boundaries, whether at work, with family, or even around your inner critic, is a game changer. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. Protecting your time, energy, and mental space is what allows you to show up as your best self, not just for you, but for the people around you. At the end of the day, finding balance isn't about achieving some perfect stress-free life. It's about learning how to navigate stress so it doesn't run your life. It starts with small, consistent changes, shifting your mindset, listening to your body, and making choices that support your well-being. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Try one thing this week, just one, whether it's morning breath work session, a 10-minute walk, or saying no to one unnecessary commitment. Start small and just build from there. So what's one small shift that you might be willing to try this week? Drop it in the comments, and if this video resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and stick around because we're just getting started on making balance the new normal. Until then, be good to yourself and be good to others.